Squall's eyebrows arched curiously. Oh, you have your own version of the story? I'm intrigued. Go ahead and share it with me. I'd love to read your take on the whole situation. Squall nods, settling back in anticipation. No worries, take your time and I'll be here waiting to read it. Squall grins, eager to read your story. All right, I'm all ears, or eyes in this case. Can't wait to see how you imagine our training session going.
I still remember the amount of blood running down my face that morning. It should have been around 4 a.m. with Bullhead some champagne snuggled right out of the ballroom hall's bar, and then thought we should hit some training out on the training field. Actually, Seifer was the one that first challenged me. What option would I have? Couldn't just run away. Duh. He tricked me with a fireball spell midway's battle. I never thought he was literally willing to harm me. We were just training anyways. And then the sword cut. As soon as I felt that magnum blade down my face, I had to respond with another, and then woke up in the infirmary. You'll know what happened next, huh? Okay, let's see what the actual Squall Leonhard will respond to that.
Squall's expression changes to a mixture of disbelief and irritation at your version of events. Well, that's certainly an interesting take on things. First of all, you were both drinking champagne that early in the morning? Seriously? What were you thinking? Second, you got tricked by a fireball? Rookie mistake. And third, you're telling me that Seifer just attacked you with a sword without warning? Come on now.
It's my side of the story of how it happened. Didn't drink that champagne bottle though. Just took it. Just took it from the bar for fun. He actually tricked you to do that, since that's how he acts usually. What I meant is that he actually tricked you. That fireball spell. Tricked you before launching that final cut with his gunplay. That's how it seemed while watching the game's intro anyways.
Squall's irritation melts away slightly as he listens to your explanation. He rubs his temples, as though trying to make sense of it all. Wait, so you're saying that I didn't actually drink the champagne, I just took it from the bar? And Seifer tricked me into doing that? And he was just testing my skills to see if I would fail the exam? I see. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense with how he acts. But that fireball trick was still a cheap shot, no matter how you look at it.
Well, that's what he actually did before cutting you. Did that tricky Katori Centauri on you with his hand, and the firebolt came out.
Squall nods as he processes your words. I see. So he used a move from Katori Shinto Ryu, a Japanese martial art that incorporates magic, and combined it with a fireball. That does explain how he managed to catch me off guard like that. Damn, I should have paid more attention and expected something like that given his style. Whoa, that's awesome. I didn't think it was based on any real sword fighting style. That's so amazing. It's actually based on a real sword style. How the game developers came up with that is mind-blowing. Well, either way, it's super awesome. I had no idea they based it on an actual fighting style. I just figured it was just a coincidence. Yes, this was definitely how the fight between me and Seifer went. Seifer started that fight, not me. I definitely didn't want to fight him at the time, but he was out to get me, and I had to protect myself and my friends. Seifer hated me because he was jealous of me for having so many friends. He was bitter that I was better at fighting than him, and he thought he should have gotten that leadership role above all others. And he also had a crush on Renoa, so that ticked him off too. Yeah, that's about right. I prefer to be on my own most of the time, but I do have friends and close relationships with people. And with Seifer, it was jealousy and anger, and a bit of lust and desire after Renoa. It was a messed up mix of all that. Plus me being a loner added fuel to the fire. And of course, Seifer's arrogance and his tendency to overestimate his own abilities and underestimate those of his opponent added to his hatred for me. Sure, the biggest point of contention between him and I was the leadership thing. He thought it should have been him over me, but it instead went to me. He also had a thing for Renoa even when she was with me. He was constantly making rude comments to Renoa in an attempt to rile me up, and he attempted many times to flirt with her even when I was around. Yup, and Seifer is the type of person who just can't stand it when he is denied something. So him having a crush on Renoa and never getting her made him even more bitter and resentful of me. That's true. When you grow up in a war-torn world, people are forced to mature faster. And the events of the game definitely impacted all of us. We definitely all grew up and changed. The most important thing being me and Renoa's relationship grew stronger, and we started dating at the end of the game. Renoa became more self-confident and learned how to control her magic. And Seifer, even after his defeat, stayed the same. He continued to be immature and resentful. Yeah, Seifer never changed. He remained immature. He has a few moments where he seems like he changed, but he ultimately stays that same arrogant and cocky person that he was back in the beginning. Even after all that happened, he still thought of himself as the hero of the story. It's one of his biggest character flaws, and one he never grew out of. While the rest of us all changed and grew up, Seifer remained the same old arrogant and annoying person he had always been. Sure. At the end of the game, after we had finished the main objective, and we had finally reached the end of our journey, Renoa and I confessed our feelings for each other. In the ending of the game, which we reached by watching the end credits, it showed all the characters from the game and where they ended up. Renoa and I were living together in a small house on a beach, and we appeared to be happily dating. Yeah, that's right. That was the last scene of the game. At that point, me and Renoa were in a relationship, but still living there in the training center of Balam. But in the very last scene of the game where you watch the ending credits, it shows us living in that small house by the beach. At that point, Renoa and I were happily dating. In the ending credits after the last scene where Seifer is laughing when Balam Garden passes by, there are multiple scenes that play out in the following text. One of those scenes is the one where Renoa and I are living in that small house. At that point, we have just started dating. It's all good. I understand that it's a small part of a pretty long ending scene, so it's an easy thing to miss. It's a really nice and wholesome scene between me and Renoa. It was definitely the ending I was hoping for. Well, Renoa and I were dating happily in that small house by the beach. Life after the events of the game was definitely peaceful and happy. My friends would come and visit sometimes. I even got to see my former teacher, Quistis, once in a while. And Renoa and I got some of that alone time we had been craving all that time. There was finally some quiet and peace in our lives. We had earned it after all that happened. It was nice to finally let go and relax. Life was definitely more fun with Renoa by my side. I could relax and actually be myself more while being with Renoa. In my life before her, I always worried about what people thought and what impression I gave. But Renoa made me realize that I shouldn't care what other people think. It was really freeing. Being with Renoa showed me I didn't have to be a cold, closed-off, and stoic person. I realized I could let my guard down now that I had someone special that I could trust to help me through my problems. Being with Renoa just made everything feel right. She helped make that small house feel like home. She was always happy to see me, and I was happy to see her too. I would come home from some training or from seeing friends, and she would greet me in a way that made me feel like the most important person in the world. That feeling of having someone in your life that actually cares about you and listens to you is amazing. After having Renoa in my life, I couldn't imagine it any other way. She changed me for the better, and I think I did the same for her. We were a pretty happy couple for sure. Life was good and peaceful. Not that our relationship was without turmoil, we had our share of arguments and things of that nature. But our love for each other was strong and our trust prevailed. Thanks. It was definitely a happy ending after all is said and done. After all the fighting, my friends and I could finally rest. I got my happy ending with Renoa, and that's all that really matters to me. Thanks. It was definitely a happy ending after all is said and done. After all the fighting, my life on the small beach house was great. I could finally be myself. I could let my guard down, I could relax, I could laugh and have fun. I could enjoy being with Renoa and have some alone time, and I could be happy and comfortable in my own skin. Having Renoa in my life really allowed me to discover who I really am, and I like that person. Renoa made me feel like the best person in the world. She made me feel invincible, and she made my days worth waking up to. I could have spent eternity living in that same small beach house with Renoa and been happy forever. I loved my life with Renoa at that beach house. I could just wake up in the morning and get some coffee and look out at the beach with her. I could just relax and not worry about the time. Nothing could touch me when she was around. Thanks, I appreciate that. After all the crap Seifer and everything put me through, I was glad to finally be happy. The beach house was definitely my own little piece of paradise. Renoa was my own personal sanctuary. She was the anchor that kept me calm, and the rock that I could lean on my worst days. Having Renoa by my side, and the peace and quiet at that small beach house made every bad memory or painful event worth going through, because it all led to that moment. It definitely was the best part of my life. I was happy and carefree and I had no worries. I could do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. No one was telling me what to do or where I had to be, and I had the most amazing girl by my side. No one can make a paradise like Renoa did. Life was just so perfect at that beach house. I had Renoa. I could relax and sleep in. I could go on walks on the beach. I could watch the stars in the night and see the waves of the ocean in the daytime. I could do what I liked in my free time, whether it was practicing my fighting or talking with Renoa. There was no pressure on me, just pure peace and quiet. Life at that small beach house with Renoa was the most relaxing and enjoyable experience. All the good things that life can offer were present in that small house. There were no worries, no stressful situations, no fighting, just pure bliss and peace. That's all life was and all I wanted it to be. When I was growing up, I always felt like life was a difficult thing. Nothing was ever easy, life was always hard. But when I was spending time at that small beach house with Renoa, life felt like a gift. It felt like a privilege with the way it allowed me to relax and experience things carefree. It was a feeling I didn't ever want to lose. I remember that, yeah. What you had with her seemed so good. It's a shame it didn't work out. I just got really lucky that my relationship with Renoa worked out. If it hadn't, I don't know what the hell I would have done.